You're tuned in to Ask the Master Auto Technician. Car questions? Get answers right now. Call 850-763-0555.
James Auto Center, we fix it right, guaranteed. Beep, 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 yeah.
All right, everybody, this is Wednesday morning. I forgot Karen Schoen's calling all the way from Greenwood, Florida. And the Speaker of the House is talking about cockroaches in the news today. Like, when you turn the light on in the kitchen at 3 o'clock in the morning, and all of a sudden you see cockroaches and they scatter. Well, he's giving a comparison to what he's seeing in Tallahassee when they start talking about giving money to Economic Development Alliance, or just another name for picking the winners and losers. I call it crony capitalism, which is picking the winners and losers. And that's what he's talking about. Do you know did you hear that conversation, Karen?
No, unfortunately, I didn't, but I have heard a lot of other things that he said, and it is quite amazing to have a Speaker of the House in Florida actually talk about cutting budgets.
It is unusual.
This government and getting rid of redundant agencies. I was stunned because it's been a long time since we've heard something like that.
I can't even remember hearing anyone, and as long as I've lived in Florida since 1974, that talked about stopping giving government money to private industry. It seems like
it's amazing.
It's just been in the last few...
Taxpayer money.
Is it taxpayer money?
Yeah, you said government money.
Well,
I just want to make sure people understand that the money the government gives is ours.
Absolutely. They give the money, and that's wrong.
The major thing that they look for, and that is the public-private partnership.
Yes.
And that's what we want to avoid. Because the public-private partnership means that if I have a project and I form a partnership, it's a no-bid contract. And that's where the trouble is. And that's exactly what you're talking about, because you're not getting bids from other groups. You're not getting anything that would drive a price down. There's no competition. And that's what happens when we give money to private industry without it being fair and without others being able to bid on the job.
Well, give an example. Let's look at it local, because everybody says all politics are local. So we have an EDA in our community. Just about every county has the Economic Development Alliance out there, and we've had one I want to say since 2000. And they brought in 16 companies with taxpayer monies that they brought in here to stimulate our economy. They spent millions and millions of dollars. Out of the 16 companies they brought in here, if I'm not mistaken, only 3 have survived. So they have an 87% failure record, and I want to say the state of Florida is about the same on their EDA. I know they just gave I know they gave $1 million to Pitbull to promote Florida, and that was a hidden or covert contract that was not disclosed till after some people started jumping up and down and saying, wait a minute, why is this covert? Why are you hiding this? But what I'm reading and what I'm seeing is this is common practice among economic development alliances, whether it's county or state. They do things in secret. They don't.
Yeah. Do you know that our governor, who wants to run for senator, has signed secret executive orders that nobody even knows what they are? And he's given them out to the staff and people like that, and we the people have no clue.
I don't know what to say. I did not know. For 8 years, I complained about Barack Obama writing executive orders. And 8 years before that, I complained about George Bush writing executive orders. And now both the left and the right are about going apoplectic because we got Donald Trump writing executive orders. And I'm going, ooh, this is interesting. But we've given too much power to the executive, and whether it's a governor or to the president. If I'm not mistaken, governors and presidents only have so much power, and executive orders really shouldn't circumvent the legislator.
Donald Trump's executive orders, President Trump's executive orders are a little bit different. Obama and Bush were writing executive orders to create new laws and enact new laws that they couldn't get passed through Congress.
Right.
Trump is writing executive orders saying, we're going to pay attention to the law that's on the books.
So he's just
we're
saying
going to follow the law that's on the books.
So he's just writing.
He's not writing a new law. He's implementing a law that's in existence. And that's what an executive order is really supposed to be used for.
Well, that'd be interesting if he's trying to enforce the law. What is that noise? That's not a good sound. Whatever that is, it'll go away in a minute. But there it goes. It looks like
the example, the perfect example, is immigration.
Yeah, okay, go for
The
that.
executive order was not a ban on anything, so that's erroneous, and anybody that calls it a ban is using the wrong words, which is exactly what they want us to do. All he's doing is saying, we have people coming in, we have no idea who they are, we need a procedure, and we have to be able to follow that procedure. So before we bring in more people that we don't know who they are and we can't find them, let's see who's coming into the country. That's what he did.
Well, and this is
that was whole craziness about what the media has decided what he did.
Well, we were at Project Democracy. We were at New Point Bay. I forgot the name. It's a charter school, Bay Point Charter School over there on 390 and 23rd Street. And we were talking, and they asked about the Muslim ban. And I said, there's not really a Muslim ban, on all Muslims coming across. There's 8 countries that they're stopping immigration, people from coming over for these 8 countries. And I said, if I'm not mistaken, these are the 8 countries we've been bombing for the last 8 years. And I said, I'll be honest with you, if they were bombing me, and if I could figure out how to get to your country and bombing me, I might become a terrorist. So they do need to figure out who's coming over. Yes, let's kind of cool this down. But I also told him, I said, if they pass a law where all Muslims must be registered like the Jews did in Germany, I'm going to be a Muslim, I guess, because I'm going to register as one, because I am not going to allow that to happen. And
nobody wants that to happen, nor does President Trump want that to happen. He just wants to figure out a way. And you can, through questioning, you can get a person to admit to things just by the type of questions that you ask.
Right.
And those are the questions we should be asking.
Yes.
For heaven's sakes, why on earth would we want to allow somebody into America when we know that they have a potential of blowing up a city, blowing up a church, blowing up a club? Why would we want these?
And that's very good questions, because the other Arab countries in that area have admitted 0 Syrians.
Think they know something that we don't know?
Well, and the reason they said, well, how come you're, people said, well, you should be, you speak the same language, have the same culture, the same religion, very similar. Why don't you admit them? And they said, well, we don't want to open ourselves up to terrorism. But it's okay for them to say that, but if we say that, then we are bad. But really, even people that came over on Ellis Island, they had to go through an inspection process, a vetting process. A lot of people were turned back because of illness.
When people came to Ellis Island, nobody talks about this part, but my grandparents came, and you had to be sponsored.
Yes.
You had to have somebody in America that said, you can come, I will take care of you, and I have a job for you, so you will not be a burden on the American people. That's the way immigration was.
It's supposed to be that way.
That's the way it's supposed to be. And we are supposed to be letting people into our country who will benefit Americans and America. That's the purpose in immigration, to let people come in carte blanche and then have them turn around and make demands on us, and then turn our country into a third world country.
Oh, it's happening.
Is insanity for us.
It does seem to be insanity, and insanity seems to be coming from the left and the right. I've never seen anything quite like that. It's like, it depends on whose ox is being bored.
Sadly, I believe they're looking more at votes than they are looking at people. I think it's time that we stop doing that. We're people, yes. We might have a number because we vote with a voter ID, but we're still people.
Well, yeah.
And they have no right to take our things and give them to someone else. Look at what Starbucks and Uber are going to do. They are going to eliminate, fire jobs, 10,000 Americans so they can give those jobs to refugees?
Now, I've heard rumors of that, but I don't see that's the free market. Uber and
Starbucks.
I don't know about Starbucks. It's free market
Yeah,
too. But
yesterday on the news, the president of Starbucks said, "I'm going to fire 10,000 Americans and give those jobs to refugees." Are you insane?
Well, I don't know if that's a good business model to follow because
That's what I was thinking.
I don't know if that's going to be very, he may be
Who pays for those $4 coffees?
That's what I'm saying.
The same person that's not working uses their money to go to Starbucks and spend $4 on a cup of coffee.
Well, that's good point there. Then one of the things they talked about, and we got about 2 minutes left here, Project Democracy, was a $15 an hour minimum wage. How does the Libertarian Party feel about increasing the minimum wage to $15 an hour? And they asked, and I said, be honest with you, the government shouldn't be involved in it because every time the government gets involved in it, they're actually taking minorities and putting them out of work. And they looked at me funny and said, what do you mean putting minorities out of work? If I have to hire you, for $15 an hour and I don't want to hire someone else because they're not qualified, I won't hire them. And that's exactly what the minimum wage was put in place back in, I want to say in the 30s, was to keep minorities from being hired. And that's what they did back in the 30s to make a minimum wage because unions were complaining about they called them inferior blacks taking the jobs from whites. And I'm going, and that's where the minimum wage came from. And I keep explaining to them, I said, this is a government intrusion to take away rights from individuals. The government gets involved in it. It need to let the market work like it's supposed to because the people aren't going to hire you. If you're only worth $3 an hour, I'm not going to pay you $15. And I'm not going to hire anybody. If I have to pay someone $15 an hour for a job that's only worth $3, I'll put in automation or I'll shut my business down. I can't keep my doors open. And
this is the sad part when kids are not taught economics and they're not taught to be entrepreneurs and they have no idea what profit is.
Yep.
And they use it as though it's a dirty word. And this is part of the problem with our education and probably why Florida is 47th. So please, folks, we have a bill in Tallahassee. Tell Senator Gaynor and Representative Trumbull that you want their support on Senator Hayes and Senator Pilon's bill that will fix education and allow the local communities to control their own education.
What do you know the number, the House number?
We just got a sponsor. It's just in bill writing, so next week when I come back, there should be a number.
Senator Hayes and Hulan, fix the education bill. Huh?
They did the bills last year. It was 1018 was the number last year.
Okay.
In the SB 1018 and HB 899.
899. Okay, that was last year's. Okay, and please, if you want something done, they were asking yesterday, what's the future look like for young people? I said, if you don't get involved in your local politics, such as city council, county commission, things like that, it's going to be a lot worse for you because right now you have a debt that's going to be on you and your children and your grandchildren, your great-grandchildren for a long time to come if things don't change. And it's apathy that's causing the problem in America right now. We've got to get busy, we've got to get involved, and we got to stay involved. Thank you so much, Karen, for calling. We're up against
even those that love Donald Trump and wanted him to be president, you got to realize one man can't do it alone.
That's a fact.
And it's our local communities where all of this starts.
That's right. We got to go.
That's where we've got to pay attention. And when I say local community, I also mean your school board. Florida is 47th in the country. That is a disgrace.
Well, at least we can only go up. All right. No, hopefully we can only go up. All right. Talk to you later, everybody. Bye-bye now.
James Auto Center, we fix it right.